All right, ladies and gentlemen, time to get the fun started. Now, this is just going to be a nice, chill and chat session. Just throwing my keys on the bed there. And we're just going to relax today. But a couple of things have been happening in the world of gaming news that I feel like I need to address while we play. Good to see you, Skeleton. Let's get started. So, today we are going to be playing Control's Ultimate Edition. Now, mind you, I've played Control on my channel before, but that was on the PS4, and, well, this is the PS5 version, which was on sale because there was no way I was going to be buying a full 40 Ultimate Edition of this game for the PS5. There was absolutely no way I was going to do that. But, actually... Option, gameplay, sys mode, damage reduction. The fact that I can mess with this. Energy recovery, reduction, ammo recovery, immortality, one-hit kills. The fact that I could turn all this on. Wait, can I? Wait. Lets you modify the rules to suit your specific needs. Control was designed to be both challenging and rewarding, and we encourage you to first try playing it with sys mode disabled. Would you like to enable sys mode? No, I'm not going to turn it on. That's something I wait for until I get to the end of the game, and something that I wait until I beat the game and I platinum everything, and then I just go back through with immortality and one-shot kills, and I'm just basically a god. But... yeah, I'm playing through Control again because in the spirit of, Halloween and creepy stuff happening in October and scary movies and slasher films and scary games, Control is yet another game that dips into the supernatural and just overall creepy nature. If anyone's ever played Alan Wake, this is a game set in that same universe. So we're just going to be messing around with Control today, and I'm also going to be talking about some recent game developments that have been happening with games, including one that I just been notified about concerning Bayonetta 3 that has me looking at the game like, oh no, that's not good at all. But we'll address it. Also, take note here that there's a graphics and performance, there's a performance option which targets 60 FPS gameplay, no ray tracing, and then there's a graphics option, 30 FPS gameplay with higher graphical quality and ray tracing. I will be playing on performance, but please take note of the fact that this game has two settings for that, because that's going to come up in the conversation later. So, let's go ahead and get started. I don't even care if I have to re-earn all these trophies again on the PS5 version of the game.
Be weirder than usual. Can't be helped. You called me. So here I am.
But see it as I'm doing good. I'm doing really good, actually.
I know I shut you out sometimes. I'm always glad to hear from you. It's just that I get my hopes up. So many times it's led to nothing. I found nothing. It's like we live in a room and there's a poster on the wall. We stare at it and we think that's the whole world. The room and the poster. The picture's something nice. A landscape, a famous person. Like in that movie, what is it called? The prison movie. The room's a cell, and the picture, it's different. For each of us, it can be beautiful or terrible, but we're all transfixed. But it's all a lie. Something to distract us from the truth. They're lying to us. We're lying to ourselves. The room's not the world. The world is much bigger and much stranger. There's a hole hidden behind that poster that leads to the real world. We all feel safe in that room. But sometimes something crawls out from behind the poster. And the ones that see it happen freak out and try to forget what they saw. I'm here. Why did you bring me here? Hello? Anyone here?
All right, we're here. Welcome to the Federal Bureau of Control. You're playing, Skyrim right now. Level 7, your goal for today is to get to level 10, so you just been in the opening. I understand that. For Skyrim, you literally could do anything else throughout the game and never go to Whiterun at all. I've done that for so many characters. I've actually played many characters, and with the help of alchemy and enchanting, I've made tons of ridiculously overpowered people. And just constantly level my cells to a ridiculous amount of power before I even go to the very first mission area outside of Riverwood. I've done that so many times. You want to stay out there in the opening just like Jinwoo? Well, you can. You can do that. But I want you, let me do this. Actually, let me grab that, correspondence. Real quick. One of the things I wanted to bring up, been trying to fight these giants, they hard. Oh, I take it you've been yeeted into the sky, apparently. Have you been yeeted into the sky by these giants when you tried to fight them? You never fight giants early on unless you're extremely daring, because those dudes can send you to space. Matter of fact, I never tried playing Skyrim on a PS5 and letting a giant hit me to see if it would if it would launch me into the air. Come again? Oh! Have you never had a giant actually hit you? Oh, you said yeah. It's the funniest things, just seeing a giant come down, run up, and then smash his mallet directly on you, and all you see is just your body flying up into the air. So, we have Head of Research, Dr. Casper Darling. Dr. Darling. And then we have this guy, our Bureau at Work. Pretty sure that's not his name. I know his name, but still. And then we have Director Zachariah Trench. Director Trench. Why is it that some of these directors have these names that are so memorable? Notice that their weakness is water. They refuse to cross the water. Either that, or you led them so far that they've reached the boundary of the area where they're supposed to be. Because enemies will do that. If you run far away enough, some enemies will actually start to back up and go back to their pre-programmed area of influence. What game is this? This is Control. It is a supernatural thriller type game with a lot of supernatural elements into it. If anything, this will probably be the best example I can show you, CDES, of how a Doctor Strange game could possibly play. In a way. Because we haven't even gotten to the good part yet. Or my favorite part, skill trees. But we'll get to that later.
Hello? Hey, excuse me?
There you are. You are here about the job. Janitor's assistant. You need to go to the interview.
Destruct. Yeah, it's been a while. Finally, papers are over. Congratulations, Destruct. Is it new? Oh no, Control is not a new game. I played this like, what, 2 years ago? Maybe 2.5 years ago?
You can say I sent you. If they don't,
But it really is a good game, and I've been thinking about getting the PS5 version, but I refused to buy it full price.
the sauna you allowed.
So I waited until it went on sale for about $15 on PlayStation,
Weird.
uh,
To the gym.
on the PlayStation Store, and then I got it then.
Better than somebody with no face at all. Think about it. No face.
But that said, I know what you're thinking. If there's an axe murderer around, that's him.
Why he look like Gary Oldman? I don't know. You got a Control free from the Epic Games. Hold up. Wait a minute. Hold on. This is where I came in. I came up these stairs. I came around. I forgot that this game messes with your head. I forgot that this is a supernatural game. I forgot about this because that janitor's picture was right here, but now here instead is the elevator. I forgot that this game messes with your head. So the horror is happening inside the FBI headquarters. Oh no, this is not the FBI headquarters.
They told me I imagined.
This is not the Federal Bureau of Investigation. This is the Federal Bureau of Control. It deals with supernatural stuff. Supernatural investigation rather than real investigation. But you'll see. But there are some things to bring up in the gaming world today. First and foremost, Gotham Knights is releasing next gen only, but only at 30 FPS, with no option to put it into performance mode.
Did I lose you there for a moment? You know what's on my mind. My baby brother, Dylan. 17 years since the men of this bureau took him.
Graphics are phenomenal. I don't even have it set to fidelity mode. But yes, yesterday, late last night, well, not late, but at 8 o'clock, after people kept asking, because word started to circle around that Gotham Knights was not going to release for consoles with an option to put it at 60 frames. Now, the reason why I bring this up is because I clearly showed you guys that there's an option for me to go from performance to graphics. Switching to graphics bumps up the visual quality of the game, but nerfs how smooth the game plays. There's choppiness to the frames, and it just looks less than what it could be than if I were to put it into performance mode. So, the thing about Gotham Knights is, all this time, with the game being, as you can see here, gameplay is a lot smoother. No choppiness. It's actually quite smooth. Hopefully you guys can see it on your end. But the thing about Gotham Knights is the fact that out of all the gameplay that has been shown, they pretty much focused on only showing the PC versions of the game. Now, I did see one video that had what looked to be the PS5 controls in it, but it was not running at 30 FPS, even though the video itself was at 70, 720, 60 FPS. Come to find out that Gotham Knights will not have 60 FPS performance mode as an option. It will only be locked. It is locked at 30 FPS, which to many of us, including me, who has spent many years on this channel playing games at 60 FPS and trying to give you guys the best quality possible, I've played games that were at 30 FPS. The first time going through Cyberpunk was a game that was at 30 FPS. Playing a lot of games from the PlayStation 2 era is on 30 FPS. But you mean to tell me that Gotham Knights, a next-gen exclusive, because they completely canceled the PS4 and Xbox One versions of the game, that version is going to be locked to 30 FPS with no option for performance, and you're still charging $70 for it? Mind you, the PC version will have graphics that are pretty much surpass that of the console versions, but they're not charging $70 for it. So really, people who look into Gotham Knights are getting charged more for basically less. And then it begs the question as to why they canceled the last-gen versions if the next-gen versions is gonna run like the last-gen versions. I know it sounds like I'm ranting, and I am kind of a little bit, but after playing on next-gen consoles, 30 FPS is an option. Like I said, option. It is an option that you can set, but it's not something that I've played. I don't have any PS5 games on my system that doesn't run at 60 FPS. Doom Eternal is smooth. It's always going to run at 60 FPS. Elden Ring has an option for performance and graphics. Guardians has an option for performance and graphics. Even Marvel's Avengers has an option for performance and graphics, and that's Avengers. So it just begs the question as to why they canceled the two previous versions and made solely console versions, even after delaying it a whole year. Yes, I heard that gunshot. I know shots were fired. But you're still expecting people to shell out $70 for a game that is fundamentally not optimized to run on the consoles you built it for. And I say this to every single one of you. You as a consumer deserve, especially as a gamer, if you play games, you deserve a product that runs smoothly the moment you get it. If it doesn't run smooth, they need to be fixed, but at the very best, at the very least, it needs to be smooth when you're playing it, period. And when it comes to next-gen games, you should not be releasing games...
Shit.
Oh, he did.
Shit. You want me to pick it up? The murder weapon? Really?
You should not be releasing video games at 30 FPS and saying that you want to give players... Because here's the excuse. The developers gave the reason after people kept asking. The developers gave a reason as to why it is the way it is. And matter of fact, let me find the photo, because I got the photo here. And this is from one of the developers. Hello, everyone. I know many of you are wondering about the availability of a performance mode for Gotham Knights on consoles. Due to the types of features we have in our game, like providing a fully untethered co-op experience in our highly detailed open world, it's not as straightforward as lowering the resolution and getting a higher FPS. For this reason, our game does not have a performance quality toggle option and will run at 30 FPS on consoles. People are livid, and many have canceled the pre-orders because no one wants to play a game that is on next gen, but it doesn't run like next gen. Just got to know about the Mario movie yesterday. The trailer looks amazing. When did it get announced? It was a while ago. I want to say last year's when they announced it.
Results of AWE's Altered World Events.
But this is the year where we actually got a trailer for it.
Now, the service weapon is, of course, a prime example of an OOP, a very powerful one. Ingrained in the Bureau's DNA, a key component in our prime candidate program. Come out of that Russian roulette a winner, and you're it.
Look at this place. Where am I?
So this game really delves into the supernatural, delves on things like the astral plane and, you know, different types of things. Ah, yes, photo mode. Oh no, you're good, Destruct. Not everyone knows about the Mario movie and such. How far would it let me go back? This is fine. Gonna save a photo here. I forgot I gotta hold certain things.
The same gun.
Choose to be chosen. That's thumbnail material. There's tons of places in this whole game that is just straight thumbnail material. Like, when I played through this game on my channel originally, there was just... I mean, I never really thought back then to just take tons of pictures in Control. Now I do, not only to show this game off to numerous people. But now I have a bigger emphasis on trying to show off a game and its quality in order to compare it to other games that get released this year, but don't put their best foot forward to give not only a good visual representation, but also a performance representation. I feel it is my civic duty as a person who is playing these games on a channel for all of you to see, and some of you may be skeptical about some of these games. I feel it's my duty to show these games off and let you know whether or not things are worth your money. Because this year has shown me that some developers are not deserving of our praise, they're not deserving of our finances, they're not deserving of attention. All right, enemies drop health elements when damaged. Collect health elements to restore health. We wield the gun. The board appoints you. Congratulations, Director.
Something's coming. This threat. An attack. Duty as director. Keep the Bureau safe.
Did you hear that? It's the dead man. Right after.
I feel like we can have less games, but the ones that do come out should feel fresh even after tons of playing. See, that's the thing.
This gun's
We don't need mass releases.
You know what? I'm happy.
I understand what you mean completely, Destruct. My thing is,
Things have
a lot of games right now,
Is it safe to go?
a lot of games right now have been made to make players spend a lot of time on them. A lot of games now have been made to be time sinks rather than games that are so fun you spend so much time. You lose so many hours playing the game because it's that fun. A lot of games are being made just to make players spend a lot of time on them, rather than being fun for so long that you lose track of how much time you spend on them. Like, look at a bunch of games right now that have battle passes. I feel like Genshin is caught up in the middle. When you get to like end game, that's where the grind really starts to set in. But at least they have content that keeps things fresh. A lot of what I mean specifically are games that are basically just the same all the time, but expect you to invest hours in there for little to no reward. Yeah, that's a worthy shot right there. Just seeing a bunch of bodies just there at the end of the hallway. That doesn't scream nope to me. This looks like the poster of a Jordan Peele movie. What's going on? Sorry, I want to get this good shot. There we go. All right, I'll save it for later. But it's sad that so many games are being... I didn't even mean to go down. It's sad that a lot of games right now are being made to be time sinks rather than them being a fun time. And it's actually really sad.
You can't let this happen. 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 You stopped it. You... Oh, thank you. That was... horror. Get the fuck away!
Okay, so loadout here, personal mods here. What is going on with my controller? That's odd. I haven't had this controller a year. That's very odd. You remember playing Grand Theft Auto Vice City for several years, completed several times, but still feels fresh every time you pick it up again. See? That's a game that's created for you that you can enjoy for hours, rather than it being a game that makes you enjoy it. that tries to make you enjoy it.
Secure line of communication. Guidance. Reach the hotline.
Fine, says the dead man. Okay.
Oh, you done ran up on me. Okay. And it's really disappointing how games have gotten to that point. Rather than being something that you can just like tell people that you're really having fun with, it becomes games. Some games want to become work. They don't want to become games that are just fun. You're having a fun time and you don't even think about how many hours you're losing to playing after long sessions. They're just becoming other objects that eat up your time in a very grindy, tedious way. And it really is a shame. And this sort of mentality has caused me to reduce the number of developers in games that I trust. Now, would I like for every developer to be the very best and for them to always release, great games every single time? Yes, I would, but we don't live in that world where developers are thinking of the consumer and how we are as people. They just see people they need to be playing their game just so they can have numbers that they can show their investors. Players have no longer become the people that they want to appeal to the most. They only appeal to players by dangling stuff in front of their face to get those pre-orders, to get their butts in the seats, and to have them play these games for long hours with a promise of like, oh, you'll get more stuff, but we really just want you to play longer because it looks good on our numbers. And I can't get behind that sort of mentality. Another thing I want to bring up is Bayonetta as well. Now, y'all know how much I'm looking forward to Bayonetta 3. And I've been playing the Bayonetta games. I will be starting the Bayonetta 2 next week on Tuesday. And we're going to play through that until we finish it. And then we're going to play Bayonetta 3. But before this stream even started, I was notified by some people who are affiliated with me that apparently the reason why we are not getting Helena Taylor, who has been the voice of Bayonetta in pretty much every single instance of her in games and shows, games and a movie for Bayonetta, apparently the reason why she's not returning as Bayonetta in Bayonetta 3 is because she was only offered $4,000 just to offered $4,000 to do the voice of Bayonetta for Bayonetta 3 for the entire game. Not just like by the hour. That's just for the whole game. So, and they got Jennifer Hale instead. Now, mind you, Jennifer Hale is a fantastic voice actress. But at the same time, knowing the reason why they got Jennifer Hale instead of Helena Taylor, it kind of brings down the feeling that I had for Bayonetta 3. Now, mind you, the game looks absolutely amazing, but knowing the reason why the one person who has been voicing Bayonetta all this time is no longer coming back is because they didn't want to offer her, she was only getting offered $4,000 for the entire game, even though I'm pretty sure she got paid more for both the first and second game. It really is kind of disappointing. Now, mind you, since I'm not a paid voice actor yet, I don't know the standard in which voice actors and voice actresses get paid. But I feel like $4,000 may be a bit small, especially after having this one particular person voicing a character for 2 whole games, and then having lending their voice in other games, and even having a whole movie affiliated with Bayonetta with that person's voice in it. I figured they would, maybe offer her a lot more. And of course, as of right now, she is telling people to boycott the game and to donate it to charity. Now, that is not exactly something I can get behind, because, it's, to me, yes, it's disappointing that Helena Taylor won't be reprising her role again, but that's not a reason for me not to play the game. Imagine if I chose not to play Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain just because David Hayter was not going to be the voice of Snake. It was Kiefer Sutherland who was the voice of Snake. I still enjoyed the game despite knowing that the voice actor was not the same. So I feel like this is a similar situation. Now, do I think Helena Taylor should be paid more for her role in Bayonetta? Absolutely. As much effort as she put into it, literally helping make the Bayonetta character even grander than she was before, I feel like she should be paid more. But at the same time, her not being in Bayonetta is not enough of a reason for me not to play.
Hissing sound that drives
So I will be playing Bayonetta. I just find it disappointing that the reason why Helena Taylor isn't coming back is because they choose not to pay her more, which she does deserve to be paid more, given as much effort she's put into the game.
that babble's contagious.
But at the same time, it's not enough of a reason for me to say, no, I'm not playing. Now, Gotham Knights, however, I'm going to admit something to all of you. I was thinking about getting Gotham Knights so it can be something that me and Godjiel could mess around in, and then we could have some streams messing with the game. I'd play it and see how it is myself. But after realizing that even if I get Gotham Knights, it's not going to run as smooth as any of the games that I currently have on my PS5. Yeah, you can forget that. I'm not getting it. It's a waste. And I know you guys got guns, so I'm going to take you out first. And that's the big thing on gaming news. And you killed a giant? Awesome! Now you got 449 more to go. Oh! After I trashed Gotham Knights. See, I had absolutely no expectations about Gotham Knights, but I saw it as because Godjiel, his girl got it for him, not knowing what the game actually was and what we all knew. So she didn't know. So he has the collector's edition. He has the collector's edition of the game.
Must cleanse control points.
But his girlfriend got it for him, and he didn't know. So I thought, well, based on Godjiel's experience, I might try it out with him and only him. But knowing that the game is basically going to be releasing in a mid-state. Wait, it's a certain amount? No, see, Des, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you. I don't know how many giants are in all of Skyrim. There's a lot of them, but I don't know how many. I was just messing with you. And look at the room shifting. Ain't that some Doctor Strange nonsense right now? And man, at least she was thoughtful about him. Oh, yeah, no, Godjiel's got a good one. He's got a good girlfriend. Really good. And I'm happy for him. But she didn't know about Gotham Knights. So he has it with no way to... Well, he could possibly trade it in. Unless it's one of those collector's editions that gives you a voucher for you to download the game, then there's no way he's ever going to be able to trade it in. Locked at 30 FPS and not on last gen. At this point, they're doing it to themselves. Karma, I'm so glad you're here. It's ridiculous, isn't it? How do you lock a game that's next gen exclusive? to 30 FPS, completely cancel last gen.
Is it safe to come out?
Let's answer her.
I can't tell you how happy I am to talk to somebody sane.
The feeling's mutual. Yeah, I'm Pope, Emily Pope, Dr. Darling's assistant.
My turn. Should I lie? Jesse Faden. I'm just visiting. I should have lied.
Oh, shit. You're the new director. Hold on. We're coming out.
So it's a Shutter Island, Doctor Strange kind of game. If you ever seen Alan Wake, it's in that same string of insanity.
Director Faden.
Call me Jesse.
Okay, Jesse. I'm Emily. Look, somehow this hostile force, this
Hiss?
that works. Somehow the Hiss managed to infiltrate the building without any warning.
And just like that, my name for it is official. The hiss. Like the sound of poison gas leaking in.
We're in full lockdown. It seems to have spread everywhere and to everyone not protected by an HRA. And, extraordinarily, you. You are the director, and that makes you special by definition. Trench is no longer the director, obviously. I'm sorry, I'm talking too much. This whole situation is just a lot.
Trench is dead. Shot.
Ah,
I found his body. And the gun. Do I tell her it looked like a suicide?
the service weapon.
Also, and this can sound crazy, but he keeps appearing to me, saying things. It's hard to make out, but he told me to cleanse the control point, push the hiss out. The whole room shifted around.
You did that? And you entered the building when it was already in the lockdown before you became the new director? How?
I'm not ready to tell her about you yet. A janitor let me in.
I love it. This is fucking unbelievable. I can't even... Look, Jesse, I have a million questions, and you probably have a million more.
Like, do you know my brother Dylan? Not yet.
But there's something I need to ask you to do first. If you can cleanse a control point, then you can maybe cure those infected or possessed by the hiss. Because if that's possible, our options are very different.
Emily Pope. I don't know her, but I like her already.
Yo, Jared.
Opposite of the faceless agency I've blamed for what happened to me for so long. But I can't trust her yet. Or rather, the bureau she's a part of. Yes. I can try. I'm speaking for you, of course. We can try it together. Okay. You with me?
When they first showed Gotham Knights, it was a day one for you, but now it's not a cop at all. Completely understand. Because here's the thing, and I need people to understand that me talking about frames per second when it comes to a game is not just a visual thing, it is also a gameplay affecting thing as well. A game that is played at 30 FPS trains your eye to only see frames at that limit. But when you bump things up to 60 FPS, then your eyes start to get trained for the smoother frames and the ease of being able to see animations. And when you think about it, that actually affects gameplay, because then you are more inclined to pay attention to input lag, and how it's represented when frames of animations is shown on screen. So think about this for a second. Imagine playing Street Fighter at 30 FPS, and you're so used to the framework and everything, then you bump it up to Street Fighter at 60 FPS. The frames are different. You have to be more knowledgeable about what frame stops where in order for the next attack to go. And the button input lag that comes along with an increased frame rate, that fundamentally changes how you play the game. Because when I was playing Cyberpunk, I couldn't really trust some of the stuff I was doing half the time, or how precise I was, due to how reduced the frames per second was on the PS4. But playing Cyberpunk on the PS5, everything is smoother. I am able to aim better. I'm able to do things better. I am able to do inputs in the game better because the game is flowing and is running smoother. So for people who are out there right now, and I don't know if any of them are watching this, and they could be, I know they've had some words to say to me about what I said about Gotham Knights. For these people that think that just because Batman Arkham Knight ran at 30 FPS on the PS4, that means that Gotham Knights on the PS5 running at 30 FPS should be fine, it's not. Because one, Batman Arkham Knight is a 7-year-old game built on an old engine. Gotham Knights was built on Unreal Engine 4. Arkham Knight was built on Unreal Engine 3. And that game still holds up right now. For a next-gen exclusive game to release with the same settings that you would get on a last-gen game from 7 years ago, that's inexcusable. Completely. And it's a waste of anyone's time, especially for people who are looking for a brand new next-gen game. As tricky as it is to get like a lot of PS5s and Xbox Series X's right now, even though it's getting slightly easier, most of us cannot go back to a worse frame rate for a next-gen game. It is simply backwards thinking. You're not going to gaslight me into thinking like, well, at least Gotham looks nice, but does it play smooth? If the gameplay is not smooth, but you want to tout how good your game looks, it's not worth my time. I'm sorry, but I can't. The only exceptions to that rule is if I'm playing on Switch games, which I already bring up half the time talking about how games don't run optimized for the systems they're built for. This is yet another situation, but the difference is Gotham Knights is built on for a console that is more powerful than the Switch. So there shouldn't be any reason why these games are being made unoptimized for you, the people that they want to play it. It makes no sense. For the Switch, it's a mixed bag, simply because it's a handheld device that also has like a docked mode that makes it run slightly better. But full consoles like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox have no excuse for why games don't run optimized at all, or at least don't have the option to run optimized. So, and I gotta get off this soapbox about Gotham Knights because it's such an utter disappointment. I've tried to warn people. I've tried to let people know that I don't know. I'm keeping my eye on it. I've said it all to you when I did all these different streams that I'll keep an eye on it. But there was nothing in the game that screamed to me like this was worth my time. And now knowing that what they're doing to the game, and they really legitimately were going to hide this from people. Because it wasn't until people were begging them to tell them did they say something. The game is coming out next week. And their hand was forced in order to give people this information, because I feel like they didn't want to tell people at all. Not only that, but the bare minimum for PC settings is enough to stress even regular Steam players with their basic setup. The basic PC requirements are already big enough to warrant why does the lowest settings of this game need so much power from my PC. So that was already a red flag. Second red flag was the fact that all the game showcases you see were predominantly on PC. And we never got any unedited footage of the game ever running on consoles. We got one, but I feel like it was massively pushed and edited to make it seem like it was running smoothly. But we never got people who got a preview of the game on consoles. It was always on PC. So that was already another sign. I'm gonna have to unlock all my stuff, including my super stuff, my super clothes. But I'll worry about it later.
I can't cleanse them. I saw. It was worth a shot. Thank you, Director. Jesse.
I'm gonna tell her why I'm here.
So no, I will not be touching Gotham Knights. They've dropped the ball. And one major thing is, even if they were to release, forgot, do I have a PC? I have a laptop, but I don't game on it. I'm predominantly a console gamer and streamer. Simply because my laptop is not powerful enough for me to be able to do what I'm doing currently with consoles. So I currently don't, it's a gaming PC though. It's a gaming laptop, but I just predominantly use it for recording software from, me making live streams with Facecam and then making live streams with games on my consoles. That's it though. But it's not something that I actually game on. But the real meat of the matter for Gotham Knights is the fact that not only is the game coming out next week, but even if they were to release a 60 FPS patch later down the line, the damage has already been done. Because they're basically just saying that the game is not releasing optimized for anyone to fully enjoy. Now, if people constantly play at 30 FPS for whatever reason, I'm pretty sure this will matter very little to them. But this is inexcusable all the same. It makes no sense. And I hope people get that.
The Bureau was involved in an incident in my hometown, Ordinary, 17 years ago. The Bureau came in and covered the whole thing up. I've been looking for this place for a long time. That's enough. Maybe that's too much already. I can't tell her about Dylan and the rest yet.
I've seen mentions of an Altered World event case dealing with Ordinary. You were at Ground Zero as a child? It was one of the big ones, and before my time. And very classified. I can try to dig out some old files for you. My boss, Casper Darling, would know, but he's missing. I think he knew this was coming, or suspected. He came up with the HRAs, the Hadron Resonance Amplifiers. I think they're what saved us. Or a few of us. And Director Trench would know.
Trench, the ghost, or whatever he is, he mentioned something called the Hotline. Said I should find it.
It's another object of power, like the gun, an old Bakelite telephone. A direct line of communication between the director and the board. Maybe he can talk to you more clearly through that. I mean, Trench has years and years of experience. He might know how to destroy the Hiss.
Where is the hotline?
It's kept in the communications department through the mailroom.
Was a last-gen version planned for this game or no? For Control? Oh yeah. If you mean Control, then it was released on last gen already. Ultimate Edition was built for the PS5 specifically. But if you mean Gotham Knights, yeah, actually, last gen was planned for Gotham Knights, but they canceled it because they said they wanted to deliver the best experience possible on next gen only. Only to find out that it's releasing specifically and exclusively on next gen with 30 FPS, so I have no idea what they mean by best quality and best experience possible. Oh, you meant Gotham Knights. No, they canceled the last gen. We still don't know why. Newt! Nut! What's going on? Hope you enjoy yourself while you're here. But no, Karma, they canceled the last gen versions. We don't know the specific reason why, because they have yet to give us a reason. They just said, like, we wanted to deliver the best experience possible, and we're just going to focus on next gen. Now, given the fact that this Gotham Knights will be releasing with 30 FPS, it's going to be locked to 30 FPS. Imagine how badly the last gen games were running for them to just completely cancel them. If a PS5 version of Gotham Knights runs like a last gen game, imagine how the last gen versions ran. Just think about that. Think of how bad this game was optimized for all systems. Good God, this is comedy. This really is comedy.
Keep an eye out.
They call me the director. But that's not me. I'm not a director type. I'm not a leader. Why am I here? I think you already know. Yes, I came for my brother, but there are other reasons too. I said I was looking for answers, but I might never understand them. I'm not looking for proof. This is already it. More than enough. No matter what they told me all those years, I know it's real now. I didn't imagine this. I want to be a part of this world. What scares me shitless is that I finally found it. Only to see the hiss destroy it all.
I know this is all new to you, so don't
Welcome to the oldest house. Complete mission 1.
There are no stupid questions. The door to the comms department? The hotline
Oh, sorry.
should be in the communications department.
You mentioned the oldest house. What is it?
This building, the Bureau headquarters, the oldest house, is a shifting place. Yeah, you've seen it. It transcends its physical limits.
I've been to New York a few times. How didn't I notice this place?
It's an attribute of the building. This is a place of power. The oldest house doesn't like attention, so unless you're purposely trying to find it, you don't, which is perfect for us. The work we do here is essential, but unstable. The Bureau prefers not to be noticed. And we need strong walls to make sure nothing gets out.
So without you, I never would have found the front door. Okay. Can you tell me what an object of power is exactly? This is all, well, new to me.
Control was fire.
Love going over the basics. So objects of power are mundane objects that house paranatural energies and have developed a link to the astral plane and can thus be controlled, which is what differentiates them from altered items, which are still housings of paranatural forces, but are more volatile and cannot be bound in the peri-utilitarian sense. Got it?
Did she memorize this? Got it. Thanks.
I actually understood all of that. So basically, objects of power are basically just objects that house supernatural energy that anyone can use, whereas other objects of power are so volatile that they can't be controlled and must be contained. That's basically what she's saying, if you wanted a layman's terms description. Yo, Psycho, good to see you. Looking back, you could have just looked up a YouTube vid. Oh well, I understand, Karma. Control was fire, but there was one part I couldn't get further on, so I just stopped playing. I'm trying to remember when it was. I think I stopped playing after I platinumed the game and pretty much did everything in the game. The game is still amazing. There were some parts that took me a while to get through. I think I remember going through some streams where I was trying to find some stuff back then.
Thanks, Emily. I'm sure I'll have more questions soon.
Just let me know.
Enter the communications department to find the hotline. And the cool thing about this version of the game is haptic feedback. So me even just going downstairs, I feel like a slight tap inside of the controller for every single step that Jessie takes. And the steps get harder whenever she starts running.
There it is again. Our welcome message.
Alright, so that's where we need to go. And we'll explore these areas as we go. It's going to be a hot minute before I can get back to the level of power I was at by the time I platinumed the Control on the PS4. But I will admit, See, with the way the hiss is, if you're infected by the hiss, it pretty much makes you go insane, and you're just rambling, incoherent thoughts that are indiscernible to the human mind. See, that's another thing that makes the game creepy. So this game is an action horror game. I'd say it's like a little bit of an action thriller to a certain degree.
Yes, it's overpowering here. You don't want me anywhere near it. With you on that.
So either someone or something got out and went on a rampage in the federal building. I forget the specific story because I kind of... Oh, snap! I kind of lost track when I ran through the game, and part of the story just seems overwhelmingly fuzzy. Actually, let me do this. This is what a person infected with the hiss looks like. Their entire body changes from inside out. They lose all sense of who they are, and they just fall prey to the hiss as a whole. This is how they look, and they have no way of being turned back to normal again. Once you're infected, there is no hope. Headshots are good, but body shots are just as useful. Unless I get an upgrade that capitalizes on critical shots. But we're not at that point for upgrades yet. And there's plenty of nook and crannies in here where you can find different items and stuff. Like correspondences and upgrades and mods that you can't get anywhere else. And materials necessary for upgrades as well. So it's always good to look around in this place that is literally always shifting. You never know what you might find here. But as a whole, I don't want to seem like I'm just harping on Gotham Knights and games as a whole. But as a whole, I feel like I'm glad I'm not the type of YouTuber that depends on playing every single new game that comes out in order for me to make a living. I'm glad I'm able to do what I like right now, and that's paying well enough for right now. And I can enjoy the games that I know is going to be fun, that I can have fun with you guys, instead of playing games that are just so mid, that are just so boring, that it really does feel like a chore for me to... I sometimes forget just how creepy this game is. This is another worthy shot. Yeah, this is another great shot. I'm sorry. That's really good. Let me actually capture that on my laptop. Let me see. Filters. Actually, you know what? That's actually good too. You get to see the creepiness of this scene. Yeah, that's good too. All right. Okay, shotgun. Not good. I think we're good. I think we're good. I figured if I don't play any other creepy game during the month of October, Control is a good one. And now everything shifts back into place. Freedom! Still can't upgrade anything yet. But now I can fast travel.
Just look at it. 8 inches wide and capable of storing a whopping 80 kilobytes. Stolen by our friends at the CIA, the disk held the launch codes to Soviet nukes. This is not the disk, of course, but one exactly like it. A perfect fusion of concepts vibrating in the Cold War era collective unconscious. A receptacle. It is a receptacle for dangerous energies to hone in on. And they did. We don't have the details, but when things started flying around the disk, it was transferred to us. It's an object of power. OOP. Oops. Oh, and it can launch things telekinetically through the air. To date, we've launched maybe 3 dozen pencils. And once, we even launched a cup.
Basically, what he's saying is that particular floppy disk object of power gave them the ability of telekinesis. So like I said, objects of power that are contained in objects can then be controlled and harnessed in order to use the powers that revolve around them.
Communications. We're on the right track.
There is so much blood around this place. I keep thinking I'm going to see someone jump out of the bathrooms here, even though that never happens in this game. It's just always been a precaution of mine.
Object of power. Looks like the hiss have latched on here. We need to cleanse it.
So now we gotta get close to it before this thing just straight up kills us. And as you can see, it's that same floppy disk that the doctor was talking about. The floppy disk nuke can be bound to gain launch telekinesis. Teach us to believe,
It's
director.
harder to hear you when I'm here. It's like the channel's been changed. The board's in charge here. They're pyramids in the Bureau seal. Are they really the ones pulling the strings? I'm not their director. I'm no one's director.
Now we got telekinesis, so I'm definitely gonna be throwing things around like crazy. It requires energy, but that can be upgraded. Oh, little particle effects. I wonder, can I do this? Okay, so this is how it looks at performance mode. Let's see what happens if I start to move this stuff around in graphics. Things get toned down, and I can even pick up whole chunks. Oh, there's a wall out there. Oh, that's interesting. All right. I might need to get a new controller, which shouldn't be... Hold on, let me take this thing out. It's very sensitive. I don't know why it's sensitive. I don't need this thing to be pulling back on me. As long as Jesse isn't like facing backwards when I let go of the stick and moving backwards, we should be fine. Because I definitely don't need this controller acting funny when I'm playing Sonic or God of War. There's nothing worse than controller drift. There really isn't. Throwing stuff at people is fun. Woo, look at that rebound. Have another. Don't worry, I got your number too. It'll only hurt for a little while. Don't worry about it. The hiss noise is burrowing into our astral plane, secret base. You must stop. Mute them, director. And another trophy. I was looking at my phone, so I didn't see it.
were gone. Cut off. I got it. Just like you wanted, right? This will help me fight the hiss.
Here's your change! Where'd that other guy go? As much as I want to throw things around all day, I still got a gun. Gotcha. Never try to fight me when explosives are around, 'cause I will use them. All right, time to get out. I don't have the ability to float around yet, so let's get these little bits of health bits. And then proceed to the communications department. Right, I haven't unlocked the ability to grab those rockets out of the air yet. So I really can't rely on doing that. Correspondence. I tell you what, though, Sonic Frontiers keeps looking better and better every single time I see it, and it makes me happy.
Hotline can be reached through the mailroom.
Save point. Still can't upgrade anything because we haven't reached that point. Clearance level 1.
This must open the door.
Okay, whatever got to him absolutely wrecked his face. I'm not going to stay focused on that because of YouTube be finicky sometimes. But at least we're able to get inside of clearance 1 rooms.
Great.
Oh no! I wasn't watching my health, and I forgot that if I die, I lose some of the currency that I have that I need to upgrade stuff, like the fragments and stuff. I forgot about that. I forgot about that! No! I completely forgot about that. My bad.
Great.
Oh man, I forgot this dude hits hard. Stop hitting me! What I ever did to you? Did I do something wrong? What's going on, bruv? Why you hit me so hard? It's not that deep. It's not that difficult. Stop hitting me. I don't think I had this trouble with this guy playing on a PS4. And that was on 30 frames.
They can fly now. Great.
Hold still! I need help. Oh, that did a lot of damage to him. Who told you to run? Oh, okay, he's gone. Yep, I ain't catching him. Great.
I have a feeling he'll be back. Let's stay focused. The hotline should be past the mailroom.
I'm just making sure I'm grabbing all of my health pickups. Cause that hurt. Oh, that was a lot of pain. I don't think I want to go through that again. At least not until I get myself some armor. I'll make myself stronger than I was before. I could turn it on so that I'm basically immortal, and then I have infinite energy, and I get one-shot kills, but that'd be too easy, don't you think? That'd be way too easy. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna dedicate... Actually, you know what? It's not like I'm gonna dedicate a whole series to playing Control, because I already have one on the channel. I'm just playing the PS5 version of this game for giggles. Until I get started with Bayonetta 2 next week.
The situation in Cuba has been evaluated. evaluated by the relevant authorities. The mysterious illness affecting the staff at the U.S. Embassy in Havana was caused by sonic weaponry in the hands of a foreign power. Numerous personnel have damage to the inner ear, but most are expected to make a full recovery. Of course, the event also damaged their cellular walls, but we can't blame that on some stupid noise gun. Thank God no local doctors examined them first. Honestly, what are the odds an alternate item would show up inside a U.S. embassy? Talk about good luck, huh? So much easier to... Hey, are you still recording this?
I think we're getting more context on the whole Bayonetta Helena Taylor situation. Apparently, she might have also broken NDA as well. On top of that, It's making me think about this whole situation just a little bit differently now that I know some more context. Yeah, there's a little bit more. I'm reading this, and there's a little bit more context in the whole Helena Taylor Bayonetta situation. Good Lord. And apparently, she says in one final comment in the same segment, because there's a long segment where she's just talking to everybody, she goes, Taylor wished the new voice actor Jennifer Hale all the joy in the world and all the jobs, but said she had no right to step into the spotlight as Bayonetta. She also mentioned how Platinum would probably try and do a spin-off, but advised fans not to buy the game. Gotham Knights already looked underwhelming, and it definitely didn't look like a next-gen title like they claim it is. The 30 FPS makes it even more of a bummer. Tony, that's the whole situation. It really is sad. People were looking forward to Gotham Knights, because is it the Arkham series? No. You can definitely tell the difference in touch and quality compared to Rocksteady. But at the very least, people were expecting like a nice, smooth experience playing Gotham Knights. Now they can't even get that because the next-gen version is locked to basically the most bare minimum that you would see on a last-gen version game, with no option for 60 FPS. So it truly is sad, but I won't be playing it though. A lot of people were going to get it day one. A lot of people have even pre-ordered it, but they've gone out and they canceled it, seeing how things are right now. It's quite the shame, really. And I need more health. More excited for Rocksteady's Suicide Squad game, as am I. I'm looking forward to that as well. And I bet you anything, they ain't gonna release that game where it's stuck at 30 FPS. Games like Gotham Knights are a sign for other people who are making other games like, yeah, we can't do what they're doing because it's making people not like them. So let's not do that. If people are really smart, they'll look at all the failings that have happened with video games and do their absolute best to avoid them. I want to be accurate more than anything else. Hotline Chamber. And though I'm not too big of a fan of the whole situation surrounding Bayonetta 3 and her former voice actor, I'm still going to play the game because, I mean, as much as I like Helena Taylor's performance as Bayonetta, and as much as I like Bayonetta as a character, Helena Taylor is not the sole reason I play Bayonetta games. I play Bayonetta games because the gameplay is good, the game itself is good, and I just enjoy the whole overall Devil May Cry-like atmosphere. So that's the reason why I'm playing Bayonetta 3. If I was playing it solely for the voice actor, then it kind of makes me kind of shallow if you think about it, because it means like the only thing I find appealing about a game is the voice actors in it, but nothing about the rest of the game. So I will not be part of this group that she wants to boycott. Who wants to have boycott Bayonetta 3. I'm going to be playing all 3 games, and I'm going to enjoy them, because at the core, it's the gameplay that really sells Bayonetta as a whole. Gotham Knights being 30 FPS is just lazy. These consoles are powerful. I don't believe that co-op in open world is too demanding for it not to have 60 FPS. Maybe they'll patch it. They'll probably patch it, Tony, but the damage has already been done. You've announced that your game is not going to release optimized, which is an issue. Now, mind you, back when Watch Dogs Legion released on next-gen consoles, that released on 30 FPS as well. The difference is, it's still released with the previous versions. So it was kind of like, well, they had to focus on the last-gen version, so they didn't have enough time to add in a 60 FPS patch for Watch Dogs Legion, which Watch Dogs Legion now has. But Gotham Knights doesn't have an excuse as to why it can't come with 60 FPS if they're not even working on the last gen versions and they completely canceled them. There's no excuse. It's basically just lazy now. You are now lazy if you just choose not to have it.
Been here before? No.
So even if they do patch it in later, the damage of them not having it there to begin with after canceling previous gen versions of the game just screams laziness.
Something recognized from a dream.
Hello? Anyone here?
You wasn't going to buy Gotham Knights day one anyway. It doesn't scream next gen at all. I do feel for those that were looking forward to the game, as was I. Like I said, I was thinking about getting Gotham Knights and maybe playing with Godjiel just to mess around with it. Like we did when we were playing Marvel's Avengers, but we've both said we're not going to touch it. Now, I myself are probably going to touch Marvel's Avengers again just to see the traversal update, but if the traversal update is trash, I'm taking that game to GameStop and trading it over for a Funko Pop. I'm telling you guys. Because the traversal thing needs to be good, but if it's utter garbage, I did not notice that her eyes were actually glowing in here. I never noticed that. Glowing eyes. I never noticed that. But the only reason why I was thinking about getting Gotham Knights was to play with Godjiel, because he has the collector's edition, because his girlfriend got it for him. And I was thinking about getting Gotham Knights based on his experience. A bunch of us who are friends with Godjiel were intent to wait on his words and his own personal experience on whether or not it would be something worth investing into. And given the state of the game and how shoddy it actually is, and how disappointing it is, yeah, I'm not surprised that things are the way they are right now. I'm not surprised why people are canceling their pre-orders. I'm not surprised. Apparently, Gotham Knights is going to be 60 FPS on PC. Because the FPS is uncapped on PC. Next-gen consoles like the PS5 and Series X don't get the option for any sort of FPS difference. We don't get any of that. And it doesn't make sense why consoles themselves don't get that option. It's just an excuse at this point. Like the fact that it was co-op, but that's it. I mean, when you think about it, it was also kind of bewildering why you gave people 4 players they could play as, but you could only limit it to 2 players in co-op. Now, knowing that they can't even have the game running at 60 FPS, it just tells me that you can't even, it probably wouldn't even be able to run with 4 players. But you want to know the crazy thing? You can only have 2 players in story co-op, but on November 19th or November 29th, either one of those 2 dates, they're releasing a 4-player gauntlet mode for Gotham Knights, which means that they can make it so that 4 players can play all together. They just can't do it in story mode. And it's separate from the game. So it's like, why? Just got yourself a Series X. This console is powerful, definitely powerful enough to run that game at 60 FPS. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. With this PS5 that I got, there literally is no excuse as to why these games can't run at a smooth frame rate. All I'm hearing are excuses. When it comes to these new consoles that are much powerful than the last gen versions, you should be stretching yourself thin to make sure that every viable option to make this game run as smoothly as possible has been reached. If you have not done that, then you haven't tried. Sorry, but you haven't. If you exhausted all your options and the only way you can see yourself as releasing your game is on a very low frame rate, but still expect people, and then not only that, but to charge $70 for this so-called next-gen game, Tony, you've seen it on PC. The PC version isn't even $70. It's a regular $60, the same price as last-gen games. So what makes Gotham Knights on next-gen consoles worth $70? No one is buying a game for graphics. That's why people prioritize performance mode as often as they can. No one is buying a game purely off of graphics. Unless you hark back to when people saying, okay, your PC's powerful, but can it run Crysis? No one is buying a game based off of, oh wow, this game looks beautiful, but does it play beautifully? That's the thing that sticks with people. Not how good it looks all the time, but how smoothly it runs. And if you can't do that as a game developer, you need to stop. I feel like I'm getting on a big, massive rant, but it's sad.
It doesn't connect to any typical network. A direct line to the astral plane and the board. And my hypothesis is, under the right conditions, to other planes of existence as well.
A director needs a team. My management team. These people know the secrets of the Bureau as well as I do. Some even better. Darling, Tomasi, Salvador, Marshall. Marshall especially, my head of operations. She sees right through me. She knows I don't like relying on people. The only person you should fail is yourself. But things change when you become director.
I have it. The hotline. I can reach Trench. Well, listen to him. He feels more like an echo with important info. I need to get back to Emily.
In this hotline room is just one big amphitheater chamber. Kind of like Cerebro, in a way.
Is it too soon to tell Emily? She might be able to help.
Correspondence. Butt supplement. That literally said butt supplement. I've never heard of such a thing. It's a butt supplement. I don't want no butt supplements. I'm just looking at people's opinions about Gotham Knights right now, and it's not good. It's not good. People are up in arms about it. Then people are talking about the whole situation with Bayonetta's voice actor. It's just crazy. Yeah, it's just crazy. All right, let's keep going. It really is a sad situation with Bayonetta's voice actor, though. Your boy's quick on the draw. Don't run up on me. Still reminding me that I need to work on the challenges in Red Dead Redemption 2. I'm still trying to figure out how am I supposed to take out birds on a moving train if every time I shoot a bird, the train stops and I suddenly get wanted and I get chased down by the police. I'm still trying to figure out how to do that challenge. I don't know how to do it. I gotta look it up later. All right, so now that we got another point, we can teleport back to I was about to call her Emily. Emily? And go back to Central Executive. I wonder how fast the load time is here on the PS5. Because I know the... Okay, yeah, this is a lot faster than the PS4 that I was so used to. Emily, do you think gaming is going down a dark path? I feel like there are too many people who are up at the top that are seen as visionaries that are introducing it down to a dark path. Now, mind you, there are still a lot of good developers out there. Rocksteady, Insomniac, Santa Monica. There's still quite a few developers who are out there who have not shaken and wavered in the way that they make video games. That still makes me hopeful for games as a whole. But when I see examples like Gotham Knights by WB Montreal, Saints Row by Volition, Marvel's Avengers by Crystal Dynamics, there really are a lot of examples of really unprepared and unprofessional work that's being given so much attention that it makes it seem like gaming has forever gone downhill. There's still hope, but it's hard to see it when you see these bad examples so prominently. And then we're having small glimmers of hope when games like Elden Ring or Horizon Forbidden West releases. And then we got Sonic and God of War Ragnarok popping up literally in a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks. Let me say that. I feel like, okay, 1, 2, 3, about 3.5 weeks. 3.5 weeks, Sonic Frontiers and God of War Ragnarok will be dropping. But given the state of gaming, some people really don't have that much faith in gaming as it used to be, simply because, for some odd reason, and you can't blame this on the pandemic, devs have been releasing shoddy work and expecting praise and expecting money for it. And then they take to social media when people call them out on their laziness, and then they have really high-strung people who get up on social media and have the audacity to call players who don't like their games terrorists, or they can die mad. You know, very, very harsh stuff that you should never say on the internet to the people you want to buy your games. We got those people being more and more rampant in the development process of games and being, you know, in the community section of games as well. So it's very easy to see that gaming has truly gone downhill based on those examples. But Gotham Knights is yet another example of why people are starting to lose faith in gaming. Simply because it seems like effort doesn't want to be applied anymore. Not as a conglomerate whole across the entire gaming industry, but only in a select few people, which shouldn't be. Everyone should be bringing their A game, their AAA game.
I got the hotline.
But like I said, people are lazy.
Incredible.
Very lazy.
What did he say?
He talked about his management team. People who knew the Bureau's secrets. Your boss, Darling. Tomasi, but he's gone. He's gone. Salvador?
He's the head of security.
And Marshall?
Helen Marshall is head of operations. She's tough, ex-CIA. She took her Rangers and went to the research sector to secure the HRA production. She hasn't come back.
Someone who could help us. The other sectors. How do I get there?
It's impossible because of the internal lockdown. You can perform a directorial override to lift it, but that can only be done in the maintenance sector. Normally, you take the sector elevator down there. It connects all the sectors, but it won't work while the lockdown is in effect.
We already got past one lockdown. Maybe I can find a way.
Jesse, look, with no prep, no training in this extreme situation, you are doing phenomenally well. And all that and the hiss can't seem to affect you. I mean, I would love to run some tests on you. If you agree, that is. We could find out something that would help us.
Tests? I don't know. She might find out about you. But I wouldn't mind understanding more myself. Okay. If you think it will help.
Great. I'll check the internal documentation for any lockdown bypasses. We need to get these sectors open to locate Darling and Marshall.
And I'll look for a way inside the maintenance sector. The sooner we find one, the sooner I reach this override.
Unknown caller. 4 ability points issued. Upgrade and unlock new abilities from the nearest control point. Tony says,
Where's it coming from?
Tony says, I think a lot of devs nowadays focus on pretty graphics over fun gameplay and stable FPS. You are absolutely right. My God, why don't people get this? For me, I love graphics, but what's most important in gaming is a fun experience with good gameplay and a good story. Tony, you get it. And hopefully everyone else who's watching me right now gets it. You can make the prettiest game. You can make the prettiest, most gorgeous looking game ever, but all the graphics in the world won't matter if your game is stuttering, if your game is choppy, if your game is running at a frame rate undeserving of the graphics that you're showing. And if your game isn't fun, I don't care what your game looks like. If your game is boring and it's not fun and the story's not good, or just my overall experience with your game is not good at all, it doesn't matter how much effort you put into making it look good. Gotham Knights can go all out and say, like, we really put a whole bunch of effort into making this the biggest, and it is the biggest Gotham City that we have in video games right now. It's even bigger than the city of Arkham Knight. But all the effort you put into your city and how pretty you make it looks means absolutely next to nothing if your game doesn't run smoothly and your game isn't fun and the story isn't good. For me personally, as a person who plays a ton of games, and I literally play games every single day, every day, and I focus a lot on the gameplay. Am I having fun? If that thought does not come up in my head when I'm playing a game, for no matter how long I'm playing, then I don't play it. If you're not having fun playing a game, it is not worth your time. Because that is what games should be first and foremost. Fun first, graphics second, stable first, graphics second. Because no one buys a game for graphics. You can show off the most gorgeous screenshot from Horizon Forbidden West all you want, but if that game is running at 30 FPS, I ain't gonna be playing it as long. I need my gameplay to be smooth, or as smooth as it can possibly be. There's no excuse. I don't get all up on like, oh my God, the game looks amazing. And I've said that about God of War. I said that about Sonic. Both of those games look great. But what appeals to me from those games is the gameplay itself. Now, mind you, I'm just ecstatic over what the gameplay is going to be for God of War. I haven't purposefully looked up any info about it because I want to be surprised when the game releases. But given my experience from God of War First, back in 2018, and then playing the game recently on New Game Plus, I'm looking forward to seeing what they've done with enhancements to gameplay. I already know the game's going to look gorgeous, but what I'm looking forward to is the gameplay, because I know it's going to be good because Santa Monica's got a good track record. Not worried about Sonic either, because it's the gameplay that has me enthralled by it. First time we were getting an open world Sonic game where you actually get to go out there, level up, make him stronger, and enjoy all the speed and freedom to be Sonic? I couldn't care how graphically great the games look. As long as the gameplay is good. That's all that matters. Tony says, a big city means nothing to me. Exactly. You can make it the biggest city in all of gaming, but it doesn't mean next to nothing if the gameplay isn't good. Most of those massive cities have a lot of filler content. Look at Ubisoft and their massive open world games. Oh my God, I was just thinking about Valhalla and how you get to the lower half of England and how it's such a massive map. It is absolutely massive, but it's just filled with filler. But then I also look at a game that's like Elden Ring, and it was never meant and built to be the most graphically, most appealing looking game. But it's not packed with filler, it's packed with actual content. Stuff that is worth playing. The gameplay for Elden Ring is exceptional. Absolutely exceptional. Already a Game of the Year contender. What sets it apart from other open world games is that it doesn't try to fool you. It doesn't try to fool you into thinking that the only thing that's really appealing about this open world you're in Elden Ring is just the vastness and the graphical fidelity of it all. No, it's like, no, we're going to make our game look good, but it's the gameplay that we're going to fine-tune to a fine point, to the point where people still talk about the game now and how great it is because the game was great and fun. Ghost of Tsushima is quality, same as Elden Ring and Forbidden West. Exactly, Tony. Question, and Skeleton says, question, are you tired of Green Hill Zone? I haven't played a Sonic game in 13 years, so I would say no. I haven't played a Green Hill Zone game since... Actually, the past Sonic games I played in my past, I don't think I've really ever played Green Hill Zone except for the Sega Genesis version. I never played Generations, and I never played any other Sonic game. Like I said, it's been 13 years. So I'm not in the bandwagon of saying I'm tired of Green Hill Zone because I've never really played Green Hill Zone enough to be tired of it. And plus, like I said, 13 years. That's a full decade of me not touching any Sonic game in between that time. So I'm not tired of anything that Sonic's doing because I haven't played enough of Sonic to be tired of him. But that's just me. I can't expect everyone else to feel that way. Okay, so we got enough to upgrade something. Okay, so use 3 to unlock additional weapon form slot. Use... Okay, so use 3 skill points. Use 3 skill points to get an additional weapon form slot, personnel mod slot, additional personnel mod slot. Ray Chaser, hi, you've been reading Solo Leveling again, wish they would have continued. We heard something about them doing special episodes concerning like the story that happens after Solo Leveling, but we haven't had much information other than that. I think the most recent Solo Leveling news we've had was the fact that the Solo Leveling game, which is slated to come out for both mobile and consoles, is slated for a next year release. But that is the most recent Solo Leveling info that we got, Ray. Also, nice name, by the way. Ray Chaser? I like that. That's a good name. Had another person pop up in my beginning after the end stream yesterday with the name Maloxy. Some of y'all be coming up with some very cool looking names here. I just got to say, it just catches my eye. Let's see. So let's increase our health. Para-utilitarian. I couldn't even say that word. My bad. Okay, so we got a little bit more health. And let's increase our energy. What game has the best gameplay in my opinion? It depends on the game. See, for me, Devil May Cry has exceptional gameplay. Really fine-tuned. Elden Ring has very good gameplay as well. It's no longer like the type of game where you're worried about hitboxes and stuff like that, because the hitboxes are now more fine-tuned to the player models and character models and enemy models in the game. So DMC 5, their gameplay is really, really good. I don't think I've ever heard anyone complain about how the gameplay is for Devil May Cry 5. You just hear people talking about how good it is. I don't hear people ever complaining about it. Elden Ring's combat is very good. You just got to concern yourself with whenever they release updates for it, whether something's getting nerfed or something's getting buffed. The most recent patch for the game buffed a ton of things. So it really does depend on what patch does what for Elden Ring. I want to say... But Devil May Cry 5 is very good with their gameplay. I can't say... There's a specific game where the gameplay is the best over everyone. Because it's kind of tricky. There's a lot of games that meet that certain criteria that just puts it on a whole different league than everybody else. So I feel like it's kind of tricky to solidify it to just one specific game that does it. But there are games that can reach that level. So Devil May Cry 5 is one. Horizon Forbidden West has some very good gameplay in it. It's a lot better than the first game, Elden Ring, obviously, Devil May Cry 5, Horizon Forbidden West. I'm probably going to have to come back to you on this, Karma, after I'm done playing Sonic Frontiers and God of War Ragnarok, because I really want to add those games to my list based on how the gameplay feels. And given how people say that Sonic Frontiers controls smoothly and it's not difficult to control Sonic even at high speeds, that just screams like, this is something they put some attention to, so that's good. And I'm not worried about my melee damage. I'm probably going to put it towards health and energy. Astral Constructs. I need more sources in order to upgrade... in order to unlock the shotgun mod for this gun. And mods... Upgrade to enable higher tier mods. I need a threshold remnant and some more source to upgrade the tier mods I can get. We'll worry about that later. What time is it? It is 2:03. Give me a couple minutes to take an intermission so I can take care of Kenzo and take him outside. And then we will continue. So just talk amongst yourselves. All right, I'm back. Karma, you say, did anybody play Shadow of the Colossus? I started it, but I never finished it. I feel like I need to go back and do that. It's been on my system for quite a while, and I feel like that's something I probably need to wipe off of my gaming bucket list before I continue on. So let's do some measures. Kill enemies with the service weapon in surge mode. Something's going on with my controller. Hold on, let me do this. Let me turn it off. Okay. There's some signs. There's some signs of onset drift. Just a little bit. It's not major, and it's not debilitating, but there are signs. So, probably gonna have to put a new controller on my list. Only when it gets so debilitating that it's affecting how I play games in a grossly negative way is when I'll get a new one. Because this is minor. It's not causing Jesse here to move whenever I put the controller in like a different position and then make the controller go downwards. She's not moving at all. So it's something that happens in the menu itself. But I probably need to go back to Shadow of the Colossus and play through that. So with board countermeasures, surge mode, shatter mode, kill hiss rangers in the executive sector using shatter, kill enemies with the surface weapon in spin mode, and then kill enemies in the executive sector. Let's just accept that, because I'm pretty sure we will take out quite a bit. You're this close to deleting it because you just beat the first Colossus, who was very easy to beat, but you still had quite some trouble because the controls screwed you over. Ah, I see. You're dealing with finicky controls even though the game is a remake.
They say the new director can launch objects up to 20 feet. Bullshit. You never reported any distance over 5. Obviously, you never read the P6 data.
Delays caused by house shifts do not count towards overtime. You really have to relearn how workplaces function in this place, because it's basically a constantly shifting living organism, so to speak. At least I wouldn't say living organism. It's a place that operates on a different plane of existence than every place else. Like, this place is in New York, but no one is able to see this entire building simply because the house itself, the building itself, doesn't want to be seen. Okay, where's the map button? Oh, right, it's up. Okay, central executive. We need to make our way, search for a way into the maintenance sector. Okay, so we have cafeteria, nostalgia department, communication department, dead letters in that direction. Was there any secrets? Yeah, there's some stuff in here. And y'all got full-on beds on the side of the wall, but y'all ain't got no blankets. Y'all got pull-out beds that... Wow. They got pull-out beds. I never noticed those were pull-out beds. I just thought they were empty shelves. But... why does that look like a person's body? Am I missing something? Oh, that's creepy. There's shadows of people, but there are no people. It's like we're at the disappearance on 22nd Street again. But we gotta find a way into executive somehow. Ah, we can get in here since we got the clearance level. House memory. I'm gonna need more source, please, in order for me to get an upgrade. Okay, executive sector. Did I ever play Until Dawn? I have not. It's not a game that really appeals to me. I've never been the type to get into big storytelling type games. Probably might be the reason why I never played many of the Telltale games. I think the only Telltale game I actually played all the way through was Tales of the Borderlands. Speaking of which, I probably won't even be playing the next Tales of the Borderlands game. As much as I like the Borderlands series, I've just kind of burnt out on the series as a whole. I mean, Wonderlands just kind of went from the general joy I had from games like Borderlands 2 and 3 into a bit of a grind fest that I've grown to very much not like. And then they increased the grind even more by increasing the chaos level. So if you thought grinding to Chaos level 50 was a substantial increase, they've increased it to Chaos level 100. I'm trying to grab your rockets. Surely I played Detroit Become Human? No. Like I said, I'm really not into the whole storytelling aspect of games a whole lot, to a certain degree. I'm just not a fan. I like to be in action, in the middle of the action, like this. These are the types of games that I like playing. The music's still going. Is there still someone here? I mean, as much as people praise Detroit Become Human, it just doesn't appeal to me in the type of genres that I like. That's just me. That's a crime against humanity, not playing Detroit Become Human. I mean, I understand the appeal of Detroit Become Human. It's just not something that appeals to me. Not saying it's bad or anything. It just doesn't appeal to me. In those games, you make the action, though, you decide what happens. Well, that's true, but I'm into these types of games where I have full control of the character. And what happens next is not decided by dialogue choices. That's what I mean. I'm not big on dialogue choice-heavy games, where most of the big action that happens is depending on what you say and certain contextual options that happen during a scene, like, press or quick time events like that. I'm not really big on those. Like I said, not saying it's bad, but they just don't really appeal to me. The same way that sports games or playing sports games doesn't appeal to me. It's just not something that, hits those notes that makes me want to play them. I really was about to think that that glass was so clean I thought I had to crouch in order to get through it, but I couldn't see it. I couldn't see it. And there's whole upper areas that I can get to, but I lack the ability to fly up there. I just realized something. Why am I making myself go through all this struggle? I played and beat this game and platinumed it all the way through. Why am I acting like I need to be playing on my best behavior during this session? No, I'll continue as I have. I'll worry about all that stuff later. Let's work hard. His life is in your hands. Everyone's safety depends on you. Well, this guy is currently trying to kill me because he's possessed by the hiss. So, I don't even know if I should trust him at all. Ah, here's the creepy game.
We'll find your mama together.
Yep. Creepy. Them keys is creepy. I don't mess with them keys. Ow! I was getting ambushed watching TV. There's still one out here. Where you at? You come up behind me? You trying to be slick? Oh! We're still in battle mode. Where's that last one? Found you. Hey, you're the last kill I need. Hold still. Excuse me, why are you still appearing? Why are y'all still appearing? Y'all trying to flank? Why y'all trying to be slick? Okay, that took a little bit longer than what I'm used to. But we got some good pickups, and I think we can upgrade. I think we can upgrade something. Collect reward. Okay. Charge mode, spin mode, shatter mode. Shatter. Shatter. Surge. Okay. So now we go here. Ah, here it is. I keep getting mixed up on what menu I need to actually go to. So I can make the shatter mod, basically the shotgun mod for this. And I need a threshold remnant in order to upgrade the tier of mods that I can create. Astral construction. Construct a weapon form or mod. I didn't mean to even go to this menu. But now we have a new weapon form that we can switch around. But I don't have the space necessary to flip between the regular, the grip, and the shatter. So with the shatter, let's put in... Yeah, this is basically a shotgun mod. I like the little detail whenever she's aiming. Because I never really look at the gun itself. It's basically, ain't it funny how this thing doesn't have any holes for bullets to shoot out? But then again, it is an object of power, so basic physics kind of don't apply. Okay, is there anything up here? No, this place is closed, but there is a chest. I really hope there's a threshold remnant in there. Threshold remnant? No, undefined reading. Let's make our way over to the maintenance sector. I forgot. It's been so long since I played this game, I kind of forgotten where I need to go in order to get to certain places. It really has been a long time. Okay, mailroom. Cafeteria. That was the object of power with telekinesis. Oh, it's dark in here. I don't want to be in here. It's dark. No, stop having dark places. Think I needed to go upstairs. Ooh, shatter projectile boost. I'll take it. So I think I need to come up here. I think.
You're listening to America Overnight, mystifying the airwaves for more than 29 years. Thank you for staying up with us. Ghosts. We've had many callers over the years tell us of hauntings, voices, and other phantasmagorical phenomena. Today, friend of the show, Dr. Quincy Reagan, tells his story. Quincy.
Thanks. This is something I experienced recently while staying at the Chili Pines Motel in Macon for last year's SuspiciaCon. I was in room 47. The night manager, an avid listener of the program, insisted I take this particular room. Now, the manager explained that years back, the body of a man was discovered under the bed, inside that wooden border that motel beds tend to have. And the body had been there a week, he said. Guests had stayed there, sleeping with the corpse a foot below them. They only found the body when housekeepers complained about the smell. Hauntings have been reported in room 47 ever since. I happily took the room. I fell asleep pretty quick, checking under the bed first, of course. No ghosts visited me, no chilly spots or flickering lights. But when I woke up, I found myself under the bed. It was dark and stiflingly hot. Luckily, I was able to push the mattress off and crawl out before I suffocated. The night manager was kind enough to find me another room.
There you have it, listeners. What we call ghosts take many forms. Quincy was brave enough to tell his story, and I encourage you to keep calling and writing whenever you encounter something strange, something you can't explain. Maybe you're seeing colors that we have no name for. Maybe your toaster is possessed. Remember, dear listeners, when no one else believes you, we do. America Overnight, we'll be right back.
That's a hip happening radio. But let's continue on. There doesn't look to be a way I can get in there. I just realized I'm supposed to go in the elevator in order to... Supposed to go in the elevator. I'm supposed to go in the elevator. Strange collection, collect 40 collectibles. I'm supposed to go in the elevator in order to get down to the next area. I'm over here running through all these old zones that I literally just came from. Oh, that person's got a name. They're tougher. They're not just guard. They're Alexander Gravefield, the guard. Ranger First Class Coleman. Yo, CJ, what's going on? We're playing through Control again, but the Ultimate Edition on PS5. And we also brought up how things were going with the Gotham Knights, and recently, Helena Taylor, who is the voice actor for Bayonetta, asking people to boycott Bayonetta 3 because she was only offered $4,000 for doing the entire game of Bayonetta 3 before everything went down. Quite a bit has gone on in the world of gaming, at least significant enough for me to bring it up during conversation. Supposed to go in the elevator. Still can't believe I forgot about that. But have you heard the news about Gotham Knights and how the next gen version is being released at 30 FPS with no performance option? But they're still hoping that people will give them $70 for it for their next gen versions.
Like I said before, the janitor is a friendly face. The maintenance sector is the janitor domain. If I can find Ahti here, he can help me reach the override. Maybe it was you who got me into the oldest house with the lockdown on. Maybe it was Ahti. It felt like he made the elevator appear that took me to Trench's office. Is Ahti guiding me too?
And this is not going to turn into a series, CJ. This is just another game I'm playing during the chill and chat session, because I've already played through Control completely on this channel before.
The directorial override is right there, in the control room. How do we get there?
There's a lot of these guys controlled by the hiss. Like, look at all these guys. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these guys just waiting on me to walk into that room, try to get control from them, while they try to brutally murder me. When it comes to video game and anime voice actors, I believe that they should receive royalties or residuals at least up to 5 years after a production's original release. See, my thing is, due to Helena Taylor's experience being the very voice of Bayonetta, you would think that they'd be willing to offer her more. A lot more than just $4,000 for the whole game. $4,000 doesn't even seem like the bare minimum of what you start out on when you do your first game. Well, actually, $4,000 sounds like what you would start out on, and that would increase as your character is giving a much more attention in the next game. But apparently, she's not the only one who's been suffering under the hand of being, ousted and knocked around by people that kind of don't want to give her just dues, because apparently the main guy who does the English dub voice for Mob in Mob Psycho is apparently not returning as the voice of Mob in Mob Psycho 100 because of a union deal that the studio doesn't want to comply with for him. So he's not returning as the voice of Mob. Then you have the issues that Jennifer Hale had to face when she was the voice of FemShep from the Mass Effect series. So this isn't a new thing. For whatever reason, they decided, you know what, let's not give her $4,000. But then we have Hideki coming in saying, like, I don't believe all these untruths and stuff that's going around. That's all I can say for now. So it's like, who's saying what and who's being truthful? That's the sad thing. When you see people post stuff on the internet and then you see people juxtapose that post and say, like, no, this isn't true. This is how it all went down. Now it just turns into a one big massive roller coaster of which side should people go on and who should they believe. That's what makes moments like this so strenuous. Now, mind you, all this is said, and it's like, I'm not going to boycott Bayonetta 3 because of Helena Taylor. As much as I like her being Bayonetta, she is the definitive voice for Bayonetta, but she's not the deciding factor on me getting the game, because it's the gameplay that does it for me. The same way how David Hayter wasn't a deciding factor on me playing Metal Gear Solid 5 The Phantom Pain when it was Kiefer Sutherland. I know Jennifer Hale will do a good job, but it's just a shame that the situation is the way it is. If you think about it, another similar situation happened with the original voice of Claptrap. Stuff was happening with Gearbox, and we lost the original voice of Claptrap, and he got replaced with the new guy, who's now the new voice of Claptrap. Did people like it? No. And the voice of Claptrap is something that you can't easily forget, at least his original voice before Borderlands 3. And the new DLC and the DLC that came out for Borderlands 2 that led into 3. So it's like, this isn't the first time we've seen a situation where a voice actor was let go from another company because of conflicts of interest. This isn't the first time. It's just prominent here because Bayonetta pretty much is one of the most iconic characters in gaming history, and her voice actor really helped sell that character. So like you say, yes, it is rather troubling that this sort of situation is happening. Still going to play the game, but it's a shame that I have to play the game with this thought in mind. Because now it's like, I'm playing all of this, and I wonder how this would sound with Helena Taylor. Like, I know I'm going to enjoy it because the gameplay for Bayonetta has always been solid. But now it's like, I'm playing Bayonetta now, but it's not the original voice actor, and there's these reasons as to why she couldn't return coming back. And it's like, it's a shame. Then we get Gotham Knights, that's releasing at 30 FPS for next gen, charging $70 for next gen, but it doesn't have a performance mode, and it's basically charging people more money for literally nothing new. Nothing that makes it worth $70. No! I can't afford to die here. Okay. Is there someone still here? My gun is still drawn. Okay, so I need more source and I need ritual impulse to upgrade my grip. Good to know. I feel like it's a sad state of affairs the way games have been behaving lately in the industry. Games like Saints Row, games like Marvel's Avengers, and now we got games like Gotham Knights, which is just like giving us the bare minimum that we would see on last gen, but charging people full price for current gen. And expecting people to just simply go along with it like it's a good idea. Like that's acceptable, which it isn't. Alright, we're good. Hey, great! Ritual Impulse. I need more of those. And Source to upgrade my grip. Threshold Remnant! I think I needed another one of those to upgrade the tier of mods that I could put on... that I could create. So it's actually good that I got that too.
What's down that way?
A merry chase. Investigate the strange light in the break room. I could, but I'm not. Concerning voice acting, if you remember correctly, I've done my best voice for Gabriel Summers, Vulcan before, right? Too bad he's largely become a background character in recent comics. It's... or not Gabriel, but Gabriel Summers. I think I might have done a voice for Gabriel Summers in the past. I feel like it's been a minute, though.
Well done. You got the job. It's place for congratulations. Yippee, Satana. It happened in the last drop. I truly need an assistant.
Funny thing is, I've been a janitor. I'm more at home in that role than as the director. Only Ahti here seems to see that.
Yeah, hi, Ahti. Look, we need to get the lockdown lifted, otherwise I can't get to the other sectors. Can you help me get to the override?
Yes, yes. Easy peasy. It's just around the corner. But first, we need to get you working. Very small, couple of hours job.
Something tells me it's gonna be more than that.
Yeah. You think there's a dog buried in this? I can tell you are not yesterday's Krause's son. That's why you'll make a great assistant. Very well. I'll hit the facts on the table. I'm gonna sanon perkele suoraan that this house has a vermin problem. A bad one. They've already messed up the cooling pumps. And the power generators of a power plant, perkele. And the pensioner inside. is starting to feel the band around his head tighten. The situation needs to be fixed before the plant blows up. And we all disappear like a fart in Sahara.
Trying my best to keep up with this. Fix the coolant pumps and the power generators, otherwise the power plant will blow.
But don't you worry. I've left you clear instructions. You'll catch the end of the thread before I go to my vacation. The work's on the task board here. You can do later, when you have time.
Vacation? Right.
Yes, no one's gonna cancel my holiday or seat's gonna rattle. But don't worry at all. You'll take care of it and soon this crisis is gonna be last winter's snow. You better go now, so you don't have to run with your head as your third leg. The door in the back leads to the plant.
The door in the back. That's great. Thank you, Ahti.
All right, so let me go ahead and make that mission the main one. So at least we can have access to better areas. But now we have clearance level 2. So now we can get into those clearance doors. Having read a great deal of the Utopia-era X-Men books and a good deal of the Krakoa era, the former made better use of their respective roster of characters than the latter. Yeah, I feel like comics nowadays, especially Marvel and DC, just aren't hitting like they used to. They are definitely not hitting like they used to. Haven't seen it, but has anyone seen Halloween End? I have not. I know the events of all the Halloween films.
What happens again if that thing blows up?
Power. Explosion. Too much. Director's duty. Keep the lights on.
Heard it was trash, and from the clips they showed, it looked weak. See, that's the thing about movies. You don't want them to drag on too long, otherwise they start to get redundant, and they start to get uninteresting because you're simply running out of ideas. I mean, look at Fast and the Furious. They're still trying to make more movies, even though the premise of the first movies was just about street racing. And now we got people with supercars, and they're dragging bank vaults out of buildings, and then they're driving up next to speeding planes, and then cars are driving off of bridges and somehow grappling on and flipping around entire mountains for some odd reason. Then you got cars with rocket jets on the back, and it's like Fast and the Furious was so simple at the beginning. Now it just became straight up ridiculous. Like, I'm so used to Dom being just like the head guy who's like the best street racer out on the streets until Paul Walker came up. And the last thing I remember is him saying, like, I almost had you. Now we're at a point where Dom has, like, this brother he never speaks of who's secretly John Cena, but we can never see him because he's invisible because he's John Cena. And then you got all these different things with, like, Jason Statham, The Rock, and it's like Fast and Furious, that a movie that used to be about street racing has just decided, you know what? Let's go beyond street racing. Let's keep going until we run out of ideas. And I'm just thinking, like, there's only so much you can do with a movie about cars before they start to get boring. And I'm sorry, did I enjoy that one Fast and the Furious when it was like supposed to be a send-off for Paul Walker? When after he passed, and like I had a bit of an emotional moment just between my family because it just made me value my family even more. But after that, I was like, okay, the appeal for Fast and the Furious is gone now. It's gone. It's gone. Why should I care about the Fast and Furious films anymore? It's no longer being the Fast and the Furious. All I see is fast cars, but I don't see that much fury. I really don't. all I see is a bunch of excuses to keep padding on this movie franchise that has absolutely no idea where it wants to go. And them dropping so many big celebrity names into this movie does not guarantee the story's going to be fine. Does not guarantee the movie's going to be good. You could literally fill all the Fast and Furious movies with literally every single known actor, but that's not going to help the story. That's not going to help the series feel so much more disjointed than it already does. Less disjointed than it already does. Having a greater amount of characters during the Krakoa era has somewhat been a hindrance, considering a slight lack of creativity. I mean, that actually is what matches up with what I'm saying about Fast and the Furious, CJ. The overabundance of characters that they're trying to shove in the Krakoa era of X-Men is essentially what Fast and the Furious is doing. They've gone for quality to quantity, as if every movie needs to have some hidden cameo or some new famous actor in it in order for it to compensate for the lack of quality. That's basically what Marvel Comics is doing kind of right now, especially with the X-Men comics. And Gajil, he reads a lot more comics than I do, so he can speak on the matter and current standpoint of comics to a much finer and greater degree than me. But even he knows that as much comics as he reads, DC is going downhill and their sales are tanking because they tried to pander to certain groups and the sales tanked as a result. Instead of creating meaningful stories, they tried to make token characters, and those sales are tanking now, like Superboy and Tim Drake and everything affiliated with them. At least the Fast and the Furious franchise hasn't used time travel or aliens yet. No, but they got supercars that can jump off cliffs and have magnetic roofs that can attach to like flying jets all of a sudden. And can we not forget how there was Hobbs and Shaw, which is literally set in the Fast and Furious universe, that introduced nanotechnology that makes people superhuman. Like, they literally got Idris Elba saying, "I'm the Black Superman." When did we go from being a street racing movie to being a movie about, like, hey, let's fight against this super military group where their leader is basically a cyborg that can instantly be killed by whoever's he's affiliated with at the press of a button? And it's like, if you can do this so casually, then there really is no qualms about the quality of your movies anymore. So yeah, I lost touch with Fast and the Furious a very long time ago.
They all have HRAs. We're on the same side.
My name is Jesse Faden. I'm here to perform the directorial override to get the lockdown lifted.
Yeah, Chief Arish, FBC Security. Oh, hang on, you're the new director. It's a pleasure, ma'am.
Let's skip the formalities, please.
Right. Faden, ma'am. Look, as you can probably tell, it's a bit of a shit show down here. We've been holding our ground, but whatever's gotten into our buddies has them wrecking the coolant pumps and the power converters. The NSC keeps overheating, and my crews keep getting shot before they have a chance to make any repairs.
NSC?
Oh, sorry. Bureau jargon. It's what we call the power plant. You know, the big rumbling metal thing? Salvador, head of security, asked me to protect it in case of an attack. See, what's inside is dangerous. Dr. Darling seemed to know it would be a target.
Darling? He's here?
No, it came down a few days ago, before everything went to hell. He was out of it. Smelled like a bar mat. He was ranting about vulnerabilities and how he only had one large-scale HRA, but that he needed it somewhere else. Still, at least he gave us these personal HRAs before he left. Hey, did I mention that he was tearing his clothes off? Crazy dude.
Darling knew the hiss was coming.
Listen, I love playing 20 questions as much as the next guy, but we have got to get the water and electrical systems repaired before this baby blows. I'll have my guys unlock the doors out of here for you.
I'll take care of it. You stay and keep the hiss away from the plant if you can.
The hiss? That's what we're calling him? Oh, that's catchy. Oh, listen, the radios aren't working, so if you find my boss Salvador out there, could you please ask him what the plan is? I'm sure he will have one by now.
I'll keep an eye out for him.
He sure has a lot of faith in his boss.
Try to stay alive.
Last you watch it was when Dom went mayhem because they held his unknown son and baby mama and had to go against his team. I felt that was out of line. Like you said, it's not about street race. Like you said, it's not about street racing no more. Yeah, there's only so much you can do with a basic concept of street racing. Sure, it sounds cool at first, but then you start to wonder, do we want to turn this into a franchise? And if you do turn it into a franchise, what are you gonna do? There's only so much you can do with street racing before it starts to become quite monotonous. I mean, look at Need for Speed. It's kind of been the same all these years, but that's a video game. Story really isn't necessary for racing games. But movies that are centered on street racing, it's like, I don't know. Ritualistic thinking, cleanse 5 control points. Like I said, I'm not going to turn this into a series because I already have one on my, I think I already have one. Do I have one? Hold on. I'm about to see if I even have like a control series on my channel. I think I do. I think I do. I think, yeah, I have a couple. Actually, it's not a series. It's just been a couple of streams. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, just 4. And it was 2 years ago. And I think the last one I did was before the Game Awards that night. Yeah, it was before the Game Awards that night. Yeah, I'm looking at the gameplay. Yeah, I remember it because, yeah, it was on December 12th, 2019. I don't think I did a series, but I just kind of played through it. Yeah. It's not, is it a ghost in there? Is it a ghost in here? Okay, so we need to go to the coolant pumps and the energy converters. I'll do that, run through those missions, see where we stand gaming-wise, and I might call it a session there because I want to run some errands out. I need to look for a table because I want to have a stream where I build my Lego Infinity Gauntlet and possibly a stream where I start building the Batman Batmobile. I want a table. I want to get an actual table I can put it on. I want to get an actual table I can put it on so I can move my camera over and I can just have a session where I'm just building that, talking to you guys. I want that. So I might go out and look for a table. Did this man just shoot a rocket at me? You did. This crazy Joker just tried to fire at me. But yeah, we'll do the directorial override, and then I'm gonna head out. I'll probably see if I can find a table, like a short table. It doesn't need to be anything big. Escalation and spectacle can go too far for a franchise's roots at times. You're absolutely right, CJ, especially if it's not particularly well written or executed. And that's where it comes down to. I feel like the longer you keep a series going, unless you are already overly imaginative from the very beginning, it's going to be easy for the game to, it's going to be easy for a series of some kind, doesn't matter what kind, to suddenly It can be very easy for creativity to not be as expansive the longer you keep a series going. Or if you get people that just don't know how to write, then that'll definitely kill any sort of creativity for a series. Think about it. Star Wars was fine. Episodes 1, 2, and 3, no matter how you look at it, prequels, they were fine. Then you had 4, 5, and 6, which brought about the end of that whole saga. But then, for some odd reason, for reasons that are still unknown, other than the fact that it could be used for sequel bait, we got the sequel trilogy, which had 7, 8, and 9, with the story getting progressively worse as each movie went on. So just because you decide to bring a series back doesn't mean the series is going to be good. All right, we're good. We're fine. Never mind. Telekinesis? Yes. This is a supernatural game where I'm going to be getting a bunch of different types of powers. Who's shooting me from where? But yeah, she's got abilities. And they're expansive. Well, they will be expansive. The way this game functions, CDES, it gives me massive Doctor Strange vibes in the way that the aesthetics of this game go. She earned it or she was born with it? That plays into the story as well. She was not born with it, but it was the type of power that she has that allows her to get more powers was something that was bestowed upon her.
Power fixed. Now let's fix the pumps and water flow.
And you get ridiculously powerful in later stages. Not only that, if you want to play through the game with one-hit kills, immortality, damage reduction. I mean, you don't need to worry about damage reduction if you turn on immortality and one-hit kills. You're basically just a god at that point. But then you increase the energy recovery multiplier, boost that all the way up, and you're walking around with your maxed out skills. Yes, you can in fact become a god in this game. I just like the fact that it has that option. If I just want to chill and just one-shot everything and then just be a telekinetic supernatural being of strength, I'm glad the game gives me the option to do so. So now we need to go and fix the coolant pumps. And plus, you get different outfits as well. So there's one that makes her look like she's a telekinetic Jedi. She has one of those types of outfits. There's my thing. I don't know why Blumhouse got rid of the original timeline of Halloween and started this timeline. Not like that we'll see Michael Myers die when we see every trick in the book. In the original timeline, I don't know, Psycho. But whatever it takes to keep a series going and to, you know, keep making movies. Jamie Lee Curtis can only make so many more Halloween movies before she's unable to try and say, like, Michael dies tonight for the 15th time in a row. There's only so much. There's only so many times you stab a person in the chest in a horror film only to come back later and see that their body and the knife is gone before it starts to get like, okay, so how many times you're gonna keep doing this, bruh? How many knives have you stolen from me? Don't let those things run up on you, they blow up. How many of these things are gonna keep coming? Are we done? I don't remember them sending that many at me before. You hate and feel these directors nowadays have no original ideas or a movie series that have us audience hyped. See, in my opinion, I see Clip Hulk introduces someone new and all I'm seeing if people want the Mad Hulk, the Savage version, and I agree. Years of us seeing Hulk in many comics and we get a few live. So I know of the ending of She-Hulk. I know of the ending finale. I've never watched a single episode, but I know of the ending, and it's by far one of the most insulting things I have ever seen for Hulk. Cause can I say the spoiler for She-Hulk just in case anyone actually wants to watch it, but I doubt any of you do. Can I just say this spoiler for She-Hulk for those who don't know? And it's insane how they went about adapting by far one of the best Hulk storylines in comic book history, and they just dropped the ball so hard that they forgot that they had fingers. Let me go ahead. Okay, so I'm gonna spoil this. So the finale of She-Hulk is a bumbling, fumbling, jumbled up mess. in every sense of the word. And I haven't seen it, but I know it's absolute garbage because everyone else who was actually hyped to see it says, what did I just witness? What did I just watch? Even people who don't even do TV reviews as a profession on YouTube had to speak out and say, like, this is by far the dumbest thing I have ever seen. So the thing is, there's a whole bunch of storylines that were brought up over the course of She-Hulk, which then gets just completely axed and then just left out like the 8th season of Game of Thrones for something that makes absolutely no sense. And they even try and make fun of the visual effects artists as a way of saying, like, oh, we can't afford this. We can't afford animating and doing anything more with She-Hulk in the show because the animators are currently doing something more important. And then it has the Black Panther theme play in the background as if to say all the visual effects artists are currently invested in Black Panther Wakanda Forever. So it's like giving reference to that. But then at the end of the series where they're having a Fast and the Furious style family cookout, literally ripped from that one Fast and the Furious movie, then it has Hulk coming up saying like, hey guys, I know I've been gone a long while. I know there's some things happening on Sakaar, but I want to introduce you to someone. This is my son, Scar. And I'm thinking, excuse me? Because I read through the entire Hulk storyline of World War Hulk and everything that led up to the moment. I read through the entirety of Planet Hulk and everything that went through for World War Hulk, and then afterwards was Scar. Let me explain to you why them introducing Scar without the resounding event that preceded it is by far the most insulting thing that the MCU has ever done. First and foremost, Planet Hulk is a series that involves Hulk being forcibly ejected into space in the hopes that he will land on a planet where he can no longer harm anyone. Oh, you didn't know, CJ? Oh, Scar is introduced into the MCU, and he looks absolutely nothing. Not even a fraction of how threatening he looks in the comics. Let me keep going. The Planet Hulk series is a series where Hulk was ejected into space in the hopes that he would land on a planet where he couldn't do harm to anyone. And this was a decision made by the comic books version of the Illuminati that involves Reed Richards, Professor Xavier, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, and Black Bolt. And they all elected to send Bruce Banner, the Hulk, into space. During the course of the Hulk going into space, he gets upset, finding out that basically everyone betrayed him, and he starts smashing the shuttle that he's in, causing him to go off course where he was set to land on a planet where there was no available life whatsoever, or no one he could harm. He starts smashing up the ship and then winds up sending his own shuttle into a different direction that winds up on the planet of Sakaar. And he's there, he's weakened from the trip, and he's forced into slavery by the indigenous people there. And he's forced to fight in gladiatorial battles in order to survive. And during the time he's Hulk, he doesn't turn back into Banner. He stays Hulk the entire time, and he grows more intelligent as time goes on, going from the savage Hulk we used to know into an intelligent Hulk who is able to speak full sentences and understand situations and doesn't respond with rage over everything. So events keep going on. He falls in, and things happen. He falls in love with a woman called Kyra. They get married. She, accepts both Hulk and Bruce Banner as one and the same, and she loves both equally. Hulk is actually happy. So then events happen where the same shuttle that Hulk came in on, it explodes, killing so many people, including his wife. And seeing as how it was the reactor on the ship killed everyone, including his wife, he gets mad and upset and vows to take vengeance on all those who was involved in him getting sent to Sakaar, and he makes his way back to Earth with his band of, strongest warriors that follow underneath him. So he makes his way back to Earth, and he absolutely wreaks havoc in his path. He takes down Black Bolt, who tries his best to scream in Hulk's face, and Hulk completely bodies him. The power of Black Bolt does nothing to Hulk. And then he makes his way to New York City, demanding that all these specific heroes who were involved with him being sent to Sakaar present themselves so that they can be forced into the same slavery and gladiatorial battles for survival that he was subjected to. And during the course of this, everyone tries to beat Hulk. Everyone tries to defeat him, but no one is able to stop him. Not the Avengers, not the X-Men. Hulk bodies everybody in the X-Men. No one is able to stop him. And when he gets to Xavier, who was part of the decision to send him into space, he looks at all the graves of all the dead students that Xavier had to see die because of what's going on with him. And then Hulk just says, like, you suffered enough. Now you get to live with your mistakes. So then he goes after Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange tries to, appeal to him. And then Hulk turns back into Banner. And Doctor Strange, thinking that this is Hulk giving up, goes like, I'm sorry about this, Bruce. Maybe there's something we can work out. And then Bruce takes hold of Doctor Strange's hands and says, like, yeah, the only thing I'm going to work out is how you managed to fall into my trap. And he turns back into Hulk, and Bruce breaks Doctor Strange's arms. And then it cuts to him taking down Reed Richards and the Fantastic Four, and Hulk is just on a massive warpath. He even came across She-Hulk, who said, like, Bruce, I can help you. And Bruce only said, like, move, get out of my way. This will be the only time I say this. And then she says, like, I can't do that, Bruce. So Bruce just basically one-shots Jennifer, and all she can say in response is, like, oh my God, he can't be stopped. Even Ghost Rider tried to use the penance stare on Hulk, and it didn't work. Wolverine tried to fight the Hulk, and we all know how sharp his claws are. But Hulk is so angry. His anger is such to a point where even Wolverine's claws can't even penetrate his skin. There is nothing that can stop the Hulk. Until we find out that it was one of the members of his own crew that betrayed him and actually set up the shuttle to explode, killing his wife and everyone else who was near, killing millions, mind you, that set this whole event up because he wanted to see the World Breaker, not the Green Scar that can, bring Sakaar into prosperity, but he wanted to bring out the World Breaker, the destroyer of worlds. So he set Hulk on this path to see this path of destruction so Hulk could live up to the name of World Breaker. So Hulk kills him, and then Hulk is all like, what have I done? All this because you wanted to see me destroy worlds? So then Hulk turns back into Bruce Banner, and then he's put cryogenically frozen or put under, and then he's dragged he's put in like some sort of stasis deep in the recesses of the ground because of all the actions and all the destruction that he brought about. Not to mention, he also made a gladiatorial arena out of Madison Square Garden, forcing all the people that sent him into space to fight for their lives the same way he had to do on Sakaar. So all this stuff happens, and mind you, I'm paraphrasing. Don't forget about the Sentry fight. Yeah, Hulk fought the Sentry, and the Sentry couldn't beat him. And the Sentry is basically the Marvel version of Superman. Hulk was so angry that even the Marvel version of Superman could not stop him. So after all is said and done by the end of the story, Hulk is imprisoned in his, Banner state. And then we cut back to Sakaar, and then there's like this big cocoon that's in Sakaar. Turns out that Kyra was pregnant with Hulk's child, Scar, who then erupts from this cocoon, which was used by the old power of the old strong, or the old power that she could use, and she used that power in order to save her unborn son. Time passes and Scar emerges, and he's basically the son of Hulk, but he lacks the refinement that Hulk has. And then there's a lot of events involving him, and it's like, the Hulk state of Scar is his basic state. Him transforming into his human form is akin to Banner transforming into his Hulk form. So it's a reverse for Scar. But Scar is far more ferocious when it comes to being in his Hulk form, while Hulk has learned to kind of refine himself just a little bit. So when I saw Scar appearing in the end of the She-Hulk finale, knowing the events that led to Scar being who he is in the comics, I'm like, y'all just wasted one of the greatest Hulk stories that has ever been put to paper for people to view, just as like a whole surprise moment. So basically what you're saying is we are never going to see Hulk return back to his savage, massively powerful roots. We're never going to see that. We're going to get Banner, who likes to chill at the beach, making giant gallons of mimosas, and then just chilling, finding his inner peace. We're never going to get a Hulk who showcases just why he's the strongest one there is. They basically just looked at one of the greatest stories of Hulk ever told and said, like, we're not going to do anything with that. We're just going to turn Hulk into this big, massive bodybuilder character that would rather not be so violent or anything like that, and just do nothing with him. And some people have said, like, oh, you guys can't stand the fact that Hulk is actually moving on and he's growing as a character, but you don't understand who the Hulk is if you think that the only thing that is appealing about him is the fact that he's no longer the super violent person that he used to be. That literally was most of his character, and now you've gotten rid of that. Got me invested in the Hulk story. You should check out the Immortal Hulk series, because that's phenomenal. It makes Hulk even more powerful than he is. And then you should get into the Spaceship Hulk, or at least the newer series, where Hulk has gotten to such a degree of power that now the Hulk has a Hulk of his own called Titan. The Hulk has a brand new transformation. You have Bruce Banner, who can turn into the Hulk, and now you have Hulk, who can turn into Titan, which is a far more vastly powerful version of the Hulk that even the Hulk can't fully control. So much that that version of Hulk can basically turn other people into Hulk merely by touch. So Hulk in the comics is incredibly powerful. It's a shame we'll never see it in the movies now, because they seem to think that dumbing down the Hulk is the only way to create a compelling Hulk story. Where do you start in the comics? Read Planet Hulk, then read World War Hulk, then check out Immortal Hulk. Crazy thing is, Scar is not gray like in the comics. No, he's not. He's green like his dad. But he doesn't even look like he wants to. He doesn't even look like he's violent. He looks like that antisocial kid at the cookout that doesn't really want to speak to anyone. Like, he'll come up next to his parents, but you have to be the one who says hi to him, because he doesn't engage in conversation. That's what Scar looks like in the MCU. He doesn't look like someone who was born on possibly one of the most dangerous planets in the Marvel Universe. He looks like someone that looks at someone who's from the most dangerous planet in the Marvel Universe and goes like, oh man, I don't want to be that guy. That looks dangerous. He doesn't look intimidating. He looks just like his dad. And that's the sad thing. Planet Hulk, World War Hulk, and Immortal Hulk. And then after you're done with Immortal Hulk, look into Hulk 2022. Because that's the newest series for Hulk going on right now, and my goodness, it's a good series. But let's continue on. I don't want to bog you down with Hulk stuff. It's just a shame. It's just a shame that, and not only that, but the MCU, I feel like they are putting way too much on their plates right now. Because they're trying to release so many shows, so many movies in such a short frame of time. The closest thing to Scar was his dumbed down Hulk and the Agents of Smash version. Pretty much. This one looks to be even lesser than that, and that's a shame. Okay, so that's the furnace. Pumps are this way.
Just hold together a little longer.
But I feel like the MCU is putting way too much on their plates for reasons unknown. Like, why are they trying to release so many movies all at once? It feels like the MCU. Well, one thing I love, that gladiator look of Scar in the comics. Yes, Scar looks good in the comics. He looks horrible and so stupid in the MCU version.
Bro, go to ship. Fix it fast. If the plant goes boom, we can throw the spoon in the coal.
Ah! Ah! Visibility running through this mist does not help. Okay, last pump should be over there.
Shit. What now?
My old enemy, the clock, is blocking the pipes. We need to deal with that shit. He's very clever. He's trying to sneak in. We got him caught with his hand in the fish trap. Get rid of him.
The MCU has been doing that a lot lately, making lame versions of other characters and teams. Case in point, their take on the Wrecking Crew was quite disappointing compared to the comics. Of course it was. Because you need to be imaginative to make characters just as good as they are in the comics. Unfortunately, however,
What the hell is that? Oh, that's the most disgusting thing I've ever seen.
like, you need creativity to be able to pull that off in the MCU. If you lack that, you're going to get characters like the Wrecking Crew and She-Hulk. I feel like I'm in another moment with Dead Space. All I need is my plasma cutter. All right, I think
This place is gonna come down.
I can go ahead and fix this up now.
Let's go lift the lockdown.
Uh-oh, we got somebody. If he's allowing me to do this, I'm just going to take advantage of it. Okay, he's moving. He's walking! He had a minigun that could have gone south quickly. That could have gone south very quickly. And I would have lost all of those sources that I got my hands on. Quite a bit of mods here and there we got. Look at all this health. All this health I ain't gonna need. Now we need to lift the internal lockdown using the directorial override. Okay, we need to go to the control room, then go to that elevator that Ahti sent us to, which was over here. Oh, central maintenance. I think. Oh no, this is not it. This is not it. Kenzo's barking in the background, but you don't get to eat until 4 o'clock. Good try, though. Okay. Now we go to the control room. That was a dope close-up. That was dope. A close-up telekinesis. I feel like we don't get games that emphasize that do. You know what we need? We need games that give us like a first-person view of using different types of powers, kind of akin to like how BioShock does it, but you're using more and more. You use powers in your hands, like telekinesis and stuff like that. Not like Skyrim, but on a much deeper level. That might be the most John Wick I have ever taken out enemies in this game.
To protect them, forces contain a lot.
That's it. The other sector should be open now. I think it's time I told Emily why I'm here. I'll risk it. You two should get to know each other.
Okay, sector elevator. And then we just go right back to Central Executive. Thank you. Access. Okay, access corridor. Level 2 access. Look at me correspondence. Threshold remnant. I think we have more than enough to upgrade now. So let's go to Central Executive, speak to Emily, and then I'll call it a session here for today. At least until I do the One Piece episode later. Can I go through this way? No, I gotta go through the pumps in order to get through this. Okay. To the executive sector. But now we have access to the rest of the sectors because we fixed up the power plant. Yep, I definitely love these faster loading times. Because if you look at my previous streams of playing through Control, you'll notice that there is a distinct period of time where I have to wait for load times in between dying and then moving between areas.
You lifted the internal lockdown.
Let's talk, Emily.
Yes, of course.
Listen, Emily. Screw it. Just tell her. I haven't been completely honest. I have a younger brother, Dylan. When we were kids, we found an old slide projector in Ordinary's landfill. The slides created doorways to other places. Bad things happened. Came through. That's all she gets. The rest stays locked inside. But we found help. Through one of the doorways, we met something. A being.
A being? What kind of being?
It's hard to describe, but she helped us. We managed to turn the projector off. The bad things that came through the doorways were gone. After that, your people came. Tried to grab us. I ran away. They got Dylan. I left him behind.
Bureau agents took your brother?
Yes. You covered it up. No one believed me. I just want to find Dylan. I've been looking for him ever since.
What happened to the slide projector? It sounds like another object of power.
I thought you took it. The Bureau. Along with Dylan.
I've never heard of it. But around here, assume everything's classified. You know, I looked into the Ordinary AWE case files after you mentioned it. Trench and Darling were both involved. A large area of the containment sector was reserved for it. The case hasn't been active for a long time. I have no idea if anything's still there. Can you tell me more about this being you found?
Let's hope you two get along. She's been with me ever since Ordinary. In my head. She led me to you. I call her Polaris.
As in a guiding star. Did Polaris know about the hiss? If she got you in here in spite of the lockdown, she's very powerful. Which may help explain your test results. Your readings are incredible, Jesse. Now, cross-referencing them with the database, I found 2 matches in Darling's old classified files. Unfortunately, I can't access them beyond the file codes, but one was P6, referring to a prime candidate for a potential future bureau director. This was logged years ago.
Dylan. Is that Dylan?
The other match is on something called Hedron, which must be connected to these Hedron resonance amplifiers somehow. All I know is that Marshall went to the research sector to secure the HRA production after the Hiss first attacked.
So, Marshall seems like our best lead on Dylan. I need to go after her. How can I get to the research sector?
Use my keycard. The sector elevator will take you there.
Marshall is the next step. What Emily told me about Ordinary, my powers being connected to things in the Bureau's past. I am so close to something. Do you feel it? Something's coming.
We take turns to come for a visit. I helped you. You owe me now. And when time comes, I will come calling.
Spooky. But let me do this real quick. Welcome back to the stage of history. Or how about this one? 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 Transcending history and the world. A tale of souls and swords, eternally retold. I might need to change that to just pure reverb. Let me see that. Where is it? Cathedral. Here we go. Transcending history and the world, a tale of souls and swords, eternally retold. Now, two souls are fiercely entangled. A hero desires a sword, and a sword desires truth. The fighters face a gruesome quest to search for the ultimate sword. The Almighty Ones have granted you a sword to cut your own path. Watched over by the Almighty Ones, they unleash their fury. Believe in your power and reach for victory. That's just a couple of lines. It's a good thing I have the Street Fighter quote page on speed dial. So what we're going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and save and bring this chill and chat session to a close.
All I need to do is beat Pope to the solution. The solution is impossible.
So we got more ability points. So that's going to go to health. Yay, additional weapon form slot. So now I can have the shotgun and I can have the regular grip in there. And that's why I can't grab onto the explosive. I have to unlock the upgrades for them. So launch explosive, launch enemies, launch large enemies, launch large objects. So I gotta wait until I'm knee deep into this story. Did I spend all my points? Huh. Oh well. I'll just work on getting it later. But that'll be later though. Don't worry, this isn't going to be a focus. This isn't going to be a focus game for me. I'm just playing this on a Saturday before I start Bayonetta 2 next week. And then I play a little bit of Bayonetta 3 before I prepare for Sonic and God of War Ragnarok. It's going to be fun. But I'm good. Let me see. Can I save? Is there... Oh, do I have to go here? Okay, it's saving down there at the bottom. Okay, it's saved. The game is saved. And that's where I'm going to call it a session here for today, ladies and gentlemen. All I can say is I had a fantastic time streaming for you all today, talking about Gotham Knights and the current controversy that's around Bayonetta 3's former voice actor. And not necessarily the game itself, but her voice actor. And then just talking about games and movies as a whole. And then just enjoying some randomness that is this creepy thriller that is Control. But I'm looking forward to the next thing I bring to you guys. So all I can say is, hope you all enjoyed. Can't wait to see you all in my next video. And if you're new to the channel and you enjoyed what you saw here today, then like, subscribe, and maybe even consider becoming a member, because I am always looking forward to entertaining you. So have a fantastic day, and once again, as always,